of them is old, the other is not. Let's pop in the tape and give it a shot. It's time for Retro Reactions with Drew and Bryan.
Welcome back to Drew and Bryan Ruin Your Childhood, and today we're talking about Hellraiser. It's a movie that answers the questions, what if curiosity but aggressively punished?
It's more so like when a man goes, I've kind of experienced everything, and instead of going to therapy, I'm going to play with a mystery cube from a guy in a trench coat.
Yes, absolutely. And it's not even a cool trench coat.
No,
it was
that's
like
the worst part.
Like hey kid, I got cursed items, come behind this 7-Eleven, right? Oh, man. We have a special guest joining us today. His name is Joe, and he is one of my best friends in the entire world. Joe is not part of the piercing industry, but he kind of is. He's made some machinery for us for jewelry this way that help us create just the finest seam rings that you can buy today on the market with just these perfect cuts on them. So it took him like a year to develop this machine for us, but it is a one-of-a-kind, amazing thing, and it constantly wins Employee of the Month here. So
it's amazing.
That's incredible. Excellent. Give yourself a pat on the back for that. Thank you, Joe.
It'll be a good one. It'll be a good one.
Yeah, we're going to have fun. Hellraiser came out in 1987. Yeah. Was it Clive Barker made this movie? And he might need an inpatient stay.
I think he needs to talk to somebody. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Every single bad thing that happens in this movie is just because Frank refused to go to I don't know, maybe like an Applebee's or therapy or just literally anywhere. I think this man just needed to go somewhere outside of his house.
Yeah, there's
just needed a hug.
Yeah, there's an alternate universe, I think, where Frank is eating mozzarella cheese sticks right now, and none of this happens. He's just enjoying half-price drinks and apps.
God, what a world to live in.
Oh my God. So, hey Joe, have you ever looked at something and thought this is going to ruin my life, and then still did it?
Either emotionally or financially.
Absolutely.
I know the answer to this. Yeah, because we've done this together. Yeah.
Answer's yes.
Oh, man. Yes. I've known Joe since I started out as a baby piercer, and he has let me do modification procedures on him that I had no qualifications doing, suspensions and stuff that we had no idea doing. I got evicted from a place that I lived because the guy that I was renting from came home and found me hanging Joe from hooks from his back from the rafters in his basement. So that was kind of a weird question, I guess, for me asking. Yeah, it does. It really does. Yeah, it brings us closer together somehow.
I didn't get briefed on any of that. I was really unprepared for that story. I can only imagine being a landlord and being let's go check on my tenants. And there's just a guy strapping a guy up to the ceiling.
Yeah. Well, it was a friend of mine that I lived with, as I call him my landlord. I lived in his basement, and he just came home from work early that day and was like, "What are you guys doing?" And he was a normie guy that worked at the bank. He was not. Yeah. He was very off-put.
I think that might be even worse.
He was very off-put.
Not chill
no, not at all.
Looking back, I'm really shocked that he had that reaction.
Because we built a suspension rig in his backyard.
Yeah, he helped us drill the holes and stuff. He was part of it.
Right? Definitely. We never did get that suspension rig built. No. Nowadays, though, we would have done it amazing. We would have been so secure and probably 3D printed or something. I don't know.
Seriously, I actually have a professional rig in my garage now that my kids do aerial from, and many times I have thought about it's got really nice swivels in it, and every time I look at it, I'm like, man, we would have killed for this.
Oh yeah, well, I'll visit soon.
In our 20s.
Round 2 coming soon.
Yeah. Oh man! So back to Hellraiser here. We open up this movie with Frank in a dark room. He's immediately sweaty. He's very suspicious looking.
He's got some candles. He's sitting down. He's going to solve this Rubik's Cube box that's going to unlock some Wi-Fi maybe.
Yeah, right. And then the second that it clicks open,
there's chains and hooks and just immediate consequences. Immediately things are happening.
You finally solve the Rubik's Cube, and your reward is
your first solve, and it implodes on itself essentially.
It's weird.
Did you guys ever figure out what the pillars with the ears and things on them were, and the various fishing tackle and they were just like spinning horrors of art. I
like to believe that they like de-pieced him for like a science project, and now they have to like piece him back together. So it's just like parts labeled to the side. That's what I like to believe, but I don't think that's actually right.
But then like they piece his face back together, and his eyes are like part of his face skin. It was such a strange thing. It was very 80s horror. I know. Yeah. I don't know. I've never. Have you guys actually seen this movie?
This is the first time I've seen this movie.
Yeah,
this was the first time I had watched it. It was because like it had always been like built up in my head from a child of like it's this like horror masterpiece that I was going to like destroy me. And as I was watching it, it's just like this.
Yeah,
you know what it is? This movie is Beetlejuice for adults. That's what I could like consistently kept coming back to. Is like, he this rich banker dude buys this house that his wife is kind of like about, and he's like trying to convince her. Yeah. And there's like the horrors inside it. And it just like kept coming back to like, if Beetlejuice was fucked up, that's what this movie was.
Yeah. No, I would have to agree.
Absolutely. Oh man. Yeah, that's an interesting comparison that I never thought of, but yeah, it does. It works. Well, eventually, as soon as he solves this Rubik's Cube and shit starts going haywire, the Cenobites show up and they're like, "Hello, we're here to request everything," right?
Right. And then Frank's like, "All I want is the ultimate pleasure," and instead he just got like violated in another dimension.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Rough time for him.
Super fucking weird movie.
It's been so good.
At any point, do we ever figure out like what the different Cenobites represent?
No.
They just kind of all appear.
Fun fact time.
Woo! Fun fact.
Woo! So as we mentioned already, this movie is directed by Clive Barker. He actually wrote a book called The Hellbound Heart, which is what this movie is based off of. So not only did he make a weird fucking movie, he made a weird book too. But the Cenobites weren't actually meant to be the main focus of it. And Pinhead wasn't even called Pinhead. He was just like the main Cenobite, right? Am I saying that right? Cenobite?
I think it's Cenobite. I didn't really get a good tell from the movie. I did do some Googling because I just needed to know what the actual plot was about. I watched it and I was like, I don't really feel like I know what happened. And they said it was all about like hedonism and like not getting too into your vices. So I think they were all supposed to be different like representations of pain.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That was kind of what I got. And then, but also, the one that was like kind of fat and had sunglasses, he's like the mayor from Halloween Town in
and he looks like that character.
Nightmare Before Christmas. So many of the Nightmare Before Christmas demons look like Cenobites. And I was like, that's very strange.
It was interesting. Actually, Drew told me when they were watching this, they're like, man, this really there's been so many other pop culture references to this movie.
So many that I just like had gone unchecked. I was like, okay, this like looks oddly familiar. And as I'm like going through it, I was like, oh no, these are like literal references to all of these little guys, which they don't have any names. I love that they chose to just optionally not name one of these characters.
Right.
Just see what happens.
Just see what happens. I mean, it does let us know that when they went into it, they weren't necessarily like, they didn't have the thought process of like, this is going to be a big franchise.
So we're going to just make some freaky little guys.
Hold on. Why do we lose?
So they've made like 5 movies. So I feel like we get backstory at some point, maybe?
I would have to assume at like one of these movies, they're going to give us a little info. But yeah, I know Pinhead, his name was not actually Pinhead. And that like that was like a fan name that we ended up giving him, which is kind of funky.
Yeah. It makes sense.
Love it for him.
It's the name I would give him.
Right? It fits. It's very fitting. That's how we feel about that.
Yeah. So I don't know. Again, the whole movie, like, had homie just went and got some half price apps after 9 p.m., like, problem solved.
Instead, he was interested in forbidden geometry. Can't say I blame him.
It's super weird. I don't know. So then we cut to like the house with the blood resurrection, right?
So strange. So much strawberry syrup.
Yeah, dude.
So It really didn't connect with me that he got blown up in the attic of that house when he had, was with all the candles. I thought he was still somewhere in Southeast Asia where he got the thing.
Right?
No, cut to Frank's brother and Larry, then his wife. They're moving in to this new house, and
which I mean, if you look at the house, it already looks like a bad idea, and I think it had a bad backstory too.
Oh, yes.
This house was just not meant for people to be living in it.
No, and then immediately, old clumsy ass Larry cuts his hand, and not just a little bit, like a lot of it,
a lot
of it, right?
And then Frank is coming back looking like a haunted lasagna, trying to reanimate from the dead as a corpse. It's so gross looking. He's crawling across the floor, gonna get you, gonna grab you by the ankles.
The blood, it brought me back.
One thing I do like about this is this scene, all practical effects, right? There's no CGI. It's just nightmare craftsmanship.
And someone got paid to invent wet skeleton physics.
They absolutely did. Oh man. Yeah.
I wish I was part of the special effects team for this. It had to be nothing but fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. What part of you is I had a fantasy that was kind of driven, and now I want to fuck this wet skeleton.
Honestly, though,
yeah,
there's nothing attractive about this man as he's reanimating from the dead. As he's coming back together in these pieces, I would not want to help him.
No.
I would be kicking this thing away from me so violently.
Yeah, he's got some kinks. And it's a weird way. Well, I mean, I shouldn't kink shame, but I'm going to. It's a weird way to express those kinks,
Yeah.
This also reminds me of Strangeland now that I think about it. Very kind of similar. Got that that BDSM sexual undertones thing to it, but all about you have to experience pain in order to transcend and feel pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shout out D. Snyder. I know you're watching.
Man, I knew that was coming. Oh,
it had
wonderful.
Had to.
So Julia goes full serial killer after this, right? Julia finds Frank, who is now just meat with opinions, I guess.
And, in true fashion, she goes, "Oh no, I can fix him."
Yeah, which is the most dangerous sentence in the English language, and I speak from experience.
And she just starts bringing home the men. She goes out and she has a good time.
And bonking them.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then feeding them to Frank like he's some little horror Tamagotchi pet in the freaking attic. He's just got him up there. He's like, "Here's some food."
Accurate.
It took no convincing. She just went from I'm this normal suburban lady to I'm a black widow.
Literally, she's at this hotel bar and she's like, "Do you want to come home with me?" Just grabbing men off the street as if she has all the experience in the world doing this.
Right. Oh man. So Claire Higgins was told to push the character very, very far, and she did.
Yeah, she went from nervous to efficient.
Yeah.
No time at all. She was panicking and immediately just one hit to the dome took that man out.
Yeah. Yeah, just such a weird turn of events in this movie all the time. Frank could have just gotten into fantasy football, in all honesty.
Worst case, you lose your league and not your skin.
Yeah, right?
Well, it's 80s, so he would have had to go bowling.
True, yeah.
Limited options. I guess take my skin instead of taking me bowling.
Is this what happens when internet porn isn't available?
Yes.
This could be a good case study. I don't know.
Forbidden geometry instead of pornography.
This is why we don't have modern Hellraiser movies, right? Oh, I guess we did.
We
did
do,
make one in 2022.
Yeah, they did a remake or a reboot or whatever. There's also 9 of these movies, I think.
Crazy franchise.
There's a bunch. So,
are we going to do a podcast for every one?
God, no. We only do
definitely.
80s movies. So none of the other ones came out in the 80s.
Were in the 80s.
Were they?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. We have a trilogy of these.
Shit.
Joe will be back for more.
Okay. So question for you, Joe. Who is worse? Frank for opening the box or Julia for going, yeah, let's double down on this?
Julia, for sure.
She did start killing him.
I agree.
She could have just taken him out.
Right?
And been done with it.
I don't think the person who opened the box initially, they're never prepared for the horrors that will be unleashed. Like nobody's mind can comprehend what's coming. Everybody thinks that they've imagined the worst that can be possible, and maybe they're into it. You know, Strangeland was a great example of that. Like it just continually got much worse than anybody was ready for. Yeah, and obviously he wasn't into it once he was there, but she knew.
Yeah.
She was warned.
Yeah, she do. But we did have one sane person in the movie. Thank fuck for Kirsty, right?
God, Kirsty.
She finds the box, and then
she did immediately what everyone wanted to do, and she touched the box. Like I wanted to touch the box. Everyone wanted to touch the box.
Yeah.
She grabbed it,
and she solves it.
Which honestly, at this point, it should void your warranty as a human. But like, she didn't know that.
No,
she didn't know what she was about to encounter.
Yeah, I don't know. The Rubik's Cube has so many more colors on it. Like, why would you just not play with that?
Exactly.
I don't get it. But she plays with it anyway, and the Cenobites, they show up again, and they're like, hey, you opened it, so...
You didn't read the terms and conditions. That's on you.
No.
But she's a negotiator.
She is.
She is. She's on it.
She's like, what if I give you Frank instead?
And they love a return. The Cenobites, they love a refund. They said, you have a receipt. Let's go.
Yep.
Yeah, but they didn't hold up their end of the bargain. They really made it seem like if she returned Frank, she would be free. And,
she had like a taste of freedom for 5 seconds. They let her walk outside before they got her.
Yeah.
At this point, the moral of the story is pretty clear. You touch the box, you're getting got.
Yeah, so like if you're bored, don't escalate.
Just go to Target, walk around, sniff some candles.
Yeah, hearing me give that information that advice is weird.
Here's the thing: do as we say, not as we do. We would probably touch the box, but maybe don't.
Like I would try to not unlock interdimensional suffering or anything, but I guess sometimes
you got to do what you got to do.
You just got to do what you got to do, right?
So, like, when she was in the hospital after the box, were those doctors and nurses, were they real doctors and nurses, or were they like demon things?
So they went looking for her because she was in the room. They closed her in the room and they locked the door, and then they came back and she was gone. And they were like, where did she go? Oh no, she's missing. And that was that. So like, I feel really, like they were real. They were just kind of crappy doctors.
Okay. Yeah, that could be it. Because they really felt like constructs of something that was like going to hold her in place initially. Right. And then, yeah, I don't know. Then that weird baby
bug thing
came out of the wall.
Yeah, that thing's going to haunt my nightmares. I'm not going to lie. I couldn't tell what it was trying to be, but I was scared of everything it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I have a little conspiracy theory here. So let's make this worse.
Ooh, all right.
So what if the Cenobites aren't evil?
No, I don't believe that.
What if they're just like extremely committed to customer satisfaction?
Oh no.
I can see it.
Yeah, think about it. I mean, they never lie. That's a good thing, right? They deliver exactly what is requested. So,
I mean, this is genuinely I agree to the terms and conditions box without reading it. Like, this is the worst nightmare that comes from checking that.
True. Yeah, they should have looked for the README file. But anyhow, so what if the box is a test and the Cenobites are actually the recruiters and Frank passed? Okay,
I did have this split second of him thinking maybe he's going to be a Cenobite because he successfully almost ran away. But like also, this is the worst job interview you would ever attend.
Absolutely. But he nailed it. He got the job immediately.
He sure did. I mean, he was pretty horrific and he endured some pain.
Yeah. What do you think? Are they villains or are they just like middle management? Which is the same thing, really.
Management. They were committed to the cause, but they're committed to the cause because they're afraid of the next level.
They got to get a little more into the pain to get to the next level.
That's why they were so concerned that Frank had been released, because
they knew their managers
the next level of pain is much worse.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, hopefully.
Or
maybe not. I don't know.
Again, what happened to them? Like somebody did that, right? Nobody signed up for that.
It's true, because again, Frank did not need more experiences.
No, just a Chili's rewards account,
right? Whole movie could have been prevented by spinach dip.
Ooh, it could have
like
been.
spin art dip saves the world, right?
But no, everything falls apart. Frank gets exposed. Cenobites come back.
Yeah, and they collect like debt collectors from hell.
Which, I mean, he signed up for that,
Right.
so kind of fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, here's one question I had in the scene when Christy is running away from Frank. She goes upstairs and she hides in the extra room where the bodies are. Right. Frank goes in and looks for her, and then he like backs away and leaves, and then he goes into the room where the Cenobites were to like wait for her, but they're not there now for some reason, and then Christy comes out and he's like, oh, I'm going to get you from behind. And then all of a sudden she runs in there and now they're there again. Were they like attached to her? Why weren't they in there like getting him then?
I think they were attached to her because of the box.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I think they were stuck to the box. So as long as she had it with her, it was with her.
It's really like a
Did she
fucked up
have the
Aladdin.
Yeah. Yeah.
No lamps needed, just boxes.
Just boxes.
Telling you, it's fucked up Beetlejuice.
Yeah. Now that you've said it, I can't unsee it too.
I'm going with Aladdin though. Like they both have similar themes. They're both about desire, curiosity, and consequences.
And you know, I think ultimately it's all about not trusting cubes.
Well, now
Aladdin
I want to
hated
see
cubes.
the Hellraiser musical.
There's a
I
musical.
won't show you the pain.
Oh God.
You know, and
I would love this in a musical form.
Can you sing that
Right?
again?
no.
It's like, no, I'm already on the record.
Oh
I've been
man.
recorded. I'm good.
We'll remix it in post.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Free.
Little dub Joe. So do you think this movie still hits today, or is it just like 80s emotional damage?
It's definitely 80s emotional damage, but it got me good enough that I want to watch the rest of them.
Oh, cool.
That's fair. I would say it was full of bad decisions. I'm gonna have a hard time sleeping after that human bug thing. So yeah, I would say it did a good job spooking me at the very least.
Yeah. I will say they get better. Like around 5, 6, it kind of peaks. Like, I don't remember which number Deader is, but that one's really good. I mean, they're all the same premise. It's all fucked up, but,
Yeah.
it's like they get more money and more budget. So effects get better and things like that.
I think this.
I loved the effects in this one.
I think the effects were terrifyingly great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Were so fun. That ending though, like what the fuck was that dragon thing that like went and got the cube out of the fire? Like the creepy dude eating the grasshoppers in the pet store that turns into the dragon. Like that scene was fucked up.
That made
messed
no
me up more than
sense.
anything. Because I worked in a pet store and sold crickets to people, so I could just see somebody reaching in and doing that. Nope.
What if actually this entire movie is just a really, really bad acid trip and the dragon is a metaphor for like chasing the dragon or whatever, which I know doesn't necessarily apply to psychedelics, but like it's in the same realm.
I could see it.
Yeah. Like somebody was like watching
Someone had like
was
an
watching
ego
like 50
death.
Shades of Grey while, taking LSD and it got fucked up in their head along the way.
I could see it. The synopsis of the movie, because I watched it on Amazon Prime, the synopsis of the movie was like a sexual deviant follows his dreams into hedonism, and I was really disappointed based on the premise.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah. It's not a sexy movie.
No. Which
No,
like
but
the
it
wife
did
was
have,
like
like,
trying
one-
to be a freak, but like wasn't even successfully a freak.
Yeah.
She was just really into her husband's brother.
Aren't they all?
What else is new?
So here's a conspiracy theory based on the beginning and the end. Do you think that this movie exists in the same universe as Big Trouble in Little China? Because boy, do they feel together.
I could see it. I don't think Drew's seen it.
I don't think I've seen it.
Have you done a podcast on Big Trouble in Little China?
We haven't named any jewelry after it.
There we go.
We only review movies that we've named jewelry after.
Oh, well, fix it.
New jewelry name
You have the power.
in the queue.
We might. Oh, All right, now we reach the part of our movie review where we are all going to stick our thumbs out like this to the side, including you, Joe. And on the count of 3, you're going to give a thumbs up or a thumbs down or a thumbs somewhere else. I don't know, whatever. Just let us know if you like the movie. So 1, 2, 3.
I like how
Look at that. We all just gave it a like,
we're like kinda.
Better than bad. That's good.
I would say
not great.
It was a little more than middle ground. It was like maybe like a 6 out of 10. It was just really not what I expected. And I think that's what threw me off. But I couldn't predict it, and I liked everything about that. Couldn't tell you what was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought
it was nothing like what I expected.
No. I thought the plot line was kind of hard to follow, and it just seemed to make things up as it goes, but I still like Pinhead a lot. I think he's a very iconic character. I like the fact that he's just not like another slasher, because at that time period, you really had like, Freddy and Jason were your big ones, and everything was just slashers. So this came along and really kind of twisted the horror genre up a little bit, which is nice.
I like the general idea of it. They just didn't do a good job explaining it with dialogue.
Yeah.
So you kind of had to like either figure it out or wait for someone to tell you.
It's like horror for like really intelligent people.
The intellectuals can appreciate this one.
Yeah.
I finished the movie and immediately wanted to go watch a YouTube recap of somebody who spent way too much time thinking about it.
Yeah, I did that.
But I figured they would ruin this, so I'm gonna go watch it now.
Oh, okay.
It's a good one. I know. I finished the movie and I went straight to Reddit. I was like, "What is Hellraiser about?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Please, someone on Reddit, explain."
What did I just watch? Because the movie did a terrible job explaining.
A lot of the 80s movies that we watch are that way too. We're just like, I don't even know what the hell I just saw or what the point of it was.
It's kind of like they like want you to read. This is like a preview for the book, long form preview for his book.
Yeah, I'm still not going to read it.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Thumbs down on reading a book.
Watch the movie instead.
Yeah, watch the movie. Come on, guys. Oh, well, thank you so much, Joe, for joining us today. I really, really appreciate it a ton. Thanks for watching this silly ass movie and talking with us about all of it.
Yeah.
So
thanks for hanging out.
It was super fun. We'll have to do it again sometime.